I don't want to set the world on fire.
As a local history librarian, my role is essentially the same as any other librarian, in that we have care and custody here of a collection, and we have the responsibility of ensuring that it's accessible for current day users, and it's also preserved for future users. Although the collection is narrow in focus, it's quite diverse in material format. We have photographs, we have maps, we have a lot of council documents, rate books, minute books, reports, subdivision applications. We also, of course, have the published works. They provide context and historical background for the research that people are doing in the primary sources. If I had to nominate a favourite, I think maps would be it. They're visually compelling and they also tell a story very instantly. I think the subdivision plans are very beautiful. The commercial subdivision plans which were produced to entice people to purchase land. While many of our items are in their original format, and that's a real joy and an interest, we do hold many of them on microform. Microphotography is the micro-imaging of documents onto a film format. Reels of microfilm, flat sheets, which are known as microfiche, and aperture cards. Images of the document's contents are shrunk down onto the celluloid and then blown up again through the lens of a microform reader. The technology is in fact older than you'd think. It dates back to the 1830s when an English scientist experimented with shrinking text. John Benjamin Dancer produced his shrunken text onto slides and sold them to people to look at through microscopes. So it was purely a novelty. It was not really till the 1920s that people began to seriously consider the practical applications of microfilm. The first microfilms introduced into this local history collection were commercial microfilm of items in collections beyond our own. Things like the Sands Sydney Directory, which has relevance to every Sydney suburb. We also purchased a genealogical research kit, as it was called, microfilm documents that were most useful for family historians and held in the New South Wales State Archives. Later, we began to microfilm our own documents, using microfilm as a preservation tool and also making our own records more accessible. I believe that microfilm was pressed into great use during various wars, including in the 1870s when text was reduced so that it could fit on the leg of a carrier pigeon. But also, of course, it's been a perfect means of espionage in later wars, and also of counter-espionage in that it was one way of hiding the content of a document. In the digital age, microfilm is still a relevant format. It will always be useful for its durability. It's very difficult to use a crystal ball and imagine where we're going. Certainly, digitisation has provided many of the same benefits that microfilm originally provided and taken it to extremes. Now we have the physical form of data reduced to something that resides on a chip, and it's accessible worldwide instantly because of the reach of the internet. But at the same time, within individual collections, microfilm can still have a role in preserving originals and making content available.
On fire, I just want to start a flame in your heart.